So yesterday we did VIX 50 1S, and today we are looking at the VIX 50 VIX 75 um, assets, and based on the higher time frame, this guy has been a bullish uh, has been given a bullish move. But yeah, we saw higher high, higher low, higher high, and then we saw this break of structure. Yeah, we saw this break of structure here, and then price, you'll be expecting price to come back to somewhere around there. However, there was a sweep, there was a sweep out of this zone, and then price still came back to close within this range. So if you switch to your line charts now, you will see that price still respected this last institutional candle, meaning uh, we will be having a long time of sell for VIX 75. To where, I don't know, but it may be a preparation for sell. So when there was a break of structure that was, this guy came down, created a low, high, low, high, low, high, and then broke structure here also. High, low, low, high, broke structure. Market came down, price came back to test this breaker block. Someone is not hearing me. What's happening? I believe everybody can hear me.
Yes, sir. Maybe you should log out and log in again.
Okay, so price came back to test this breaker block, and then we saw a dip down. So let me go back. Let me go down a little bit to my lower time frame. So this is what we have on our lower time frame. High, low, high, break of structure, came back to retest this place, and then we are seeing a deep down move. But now I came down to my H4 to see what price is actually doing, and then I realized that price took out this zone too already. Price took out this zone. So I'm just expecting that this guy will just make a move like this, then back to this zone before the sell continues. So I was, when I saw this move, I was expecting a kind of a bullish, a bullish price action, and then I came to H3, high, low, high, nothing serious, nothing evidential. Came to H2, nothing evidential. Came to H1, still nothing evidential. Then for my M30, we're going to see a kind of a bullish price action. High, low, high, low, high, low. Market broke structure. Can you see where this market broke structure? Came back to this candle, and then we are seeing this deep and this bullish momentum, which may likely come here or might likely come here. So this is just a short, this is a quick trade idea for those that trade VIX 75. If I want to enter this guy, I will enter this guy here. My entry will be here. My stops will be here. By raising up these two. So then I didn't even see this. I didn't check it on M30. I just came. Then let me go to M20. Very, very clear. Then I just saw that wonderful play on M5, and then it was a very very sweet high low, broke structure, came back to retest, and then down. But now I can see dynamic liquidity that price may likely take out. So what I did, I just measured 50% of this whole move, the 50% of this whole move, which happens to be here. So if you want to enter this guy now, you can put your buy limit here. That's the 50% of this guy. Your stop loss here, and then your take profit can be somewhere around here. You can target this last place, or this last, or this imbalanced price action. Or in fact, if I want to take profit here, I will take my profit around this zone. If you're able to cash this move, at least this guy should give you nothing less than, this guy should give you nothing less than 1 to 4 or 1 to 5, if I'm not mistaken. Like a sweet 1 to 4, 1 to 5. And then if you're lucky for price to fill your order, excuse me, to fill this order, you then follow it down to the downside also, which I mean makes a lot of sense. So let's go back to the beginnings. That's just a quick one. So this may not make a lot of sense, but if you go to a lower time frame, you will be surprised at the sense that you will see there. So this is it. See this gap. When you see gaps like this, know that price will come back to it no matter what happens. So came back, we saw bullish trend, market came down, high low, high, came back to where this candle, okay, price didn't come back to this candle, but of course price came far below the 50%, which is, I mean, a good place for anyone that wants to buy. A very, very good place for anyone that wants to buy. And then we saw this push to the upside, high, low, high. Bullish trend continues. Now, what happened when this guy wants to change the trend? You see, if you've been taking note of my back testing sessions, I focus more on where price changes trends. I focus more on where price changes trend, because that's where you milk the most. You can imagine catching a trend when it wants to change trend, and then you just follow it down to the next swing on in the lower time frame. It makes a lot of sense there. So high, low, high, broke structure, right? Let me switch to the high, low, high, broke structure, came back to the zone. Yeah. I said something about this kind of formations yesterday. Who can remind me? Anyone? Can anyone remind us? Anyone?
I've forgotten the acronyms that we use, sir. But you call it institutional candle, like the price was respecting it on the V50S.
I called it a TTM. So people call it TTM, institutional candle, whatever you
Okay,
want to
sir.
call it. Just take note of it. And most of the time, price comes to play the 50%. I mean, you can see what happens here. This is not part of smart money. We didn't teach you this during the smart money sessions. That's one of the benefits of coming to for sessions like this. Price will likely come to take the 50%. So there are times that you may want to take a short scalp. It's called the TTM strategy. You just put your fibs up and down, and then you do your 50%. The price will likely come to the 50%, and then see what happens. Price came to the 50%, came down, came up again, did this thing, still here. The same kind of formation that happened there also. Although not so much, whatever. Then price came down, high, low, high, low, high, low. So what happened here when price this change of trend that happened here? Low, high, low, high, low, break of structure. Mhm. Low, broke structure, came back here, and then we saw the upward move, and then we've been seeing short swings. But of course, this is a change of trend. I believe that's why there was. And another thing you need to understand about V75 is that it's a very volatile asset. A very volatile. I started trading synthetic indices with V75. It's a very crazy volatile asset. A short move can give you cool money. I mean, cool money. It's just that it behaves crazily at times. It does a lot of liquidity sweep very well. Very well. So V75 can sweep liquidity. It can sweep liquidity to the third generation before now following the trend. Like sweep liquidity of
I
liquidity
can
of
relate to that.
liquidity. Sir?
I can relate, sir.
Yeah. So that's what this guy does. It can sweep liquidity even to your fourth generation before coming down to your, and the price will still go to your direction, no. But after taking out three or four generation of entries, it will now go your way. And then if you are not mentally stable, if you are not psychologically stable, you may not even the one that will now go your direction, you won't take it. That's why I always say that, are you mentally balanced to the level that if price hits stop loss 6 times, can you take the seventh one? Are you physically fit to take the seventh one? I was discussing with one airline trader this afternoon. A very sound trader. So he was just telling me that, okay, last for the past 2 weeks, synthetic indices have been dealing with him. That it took up to 10 trades. The 10 trades is stop loss back to back. Like within 10 trades, no one entered. Like every of the trades were just hitting stop losses, and then I think two of the trades recovered the losses. After taking the 10th, it took the 11th. The 11th entered TP. It took the 12th. The 12th entered TP. It took the 13th. 13th is breaking even now. So if you are the one after hitting 10 stop losses consecutively, can you take the 11th one? And that 11th one will be your savior. You see why it's important to not to over leverage. You see why it's important to strictly adhere to your risk management. That's why I always say that don't always, for those that have good accounts, don't risk more than 0.5% of your account. If you are risking 0.5% of your account, you are giving yourself 200 chances of going wrong. So even if you go wrong consecutively 200 times, that's when you can blow the account, which I don't think is possible. If that is not possible, it simply means it's not possible for you to blow your account if you are risking 0.5% per trade. So you see what that's like the practicality of it. And I was telling him that, you see, this is what I've been saying. Mental stability to place trades. Mental stability to place trades. So Trading is more of psychological gameplay than even buying and selling. Buying and selling. So after the tenth, after the eating 10 stops, and he's not a bad trader. I know this guy is a very, very good trader. I mean, a very, very good trader. But it happens like there are seasons, especially when most of the assets are trying to change their cycle. It's a very, very difficult thing. You may be getting stopped out several times. But one trade, catching a swing, one trade like this can save you and recover all the losses. I mean, all the losses. All the losses. So that's it, guys. High, low, high, low, high, low. And then what happened here? Where price changed trend. High, low, came back to this candle, broke structure, came back here, but didn't go up enough. But at least I want to believe it passed the 50% mark and then went down again. So this guy came here, created another swing, and then came up above the 50%, tanked down again. So you'll be expecting that maybe price will come here or price will come here or price will come here. But price, there was a sweep out of the previous structural point, which of course coincides with this cube. So price came to test this cube, which of course is wickedness. We all know that. And then broke structure downward. Broke structure downward. And then what happened? Another swing was created. Price came, didn't hit the 50%, but still broke structure to the downside. And then there was a breakout structure to the upside. So what happened? This now becomes our new structural point. High, low, high, break of structure. Break of structure happened here. Price came back to retest. There is a cube here that sent price down. But let's see. Did this guy pass the 50%? Don't joke with your Fibonacci, please. Don't joke with it. Don't joke with it. It helps you refine your trade very well. So this guy came back to 50%, which aligns with the cube, but you don't need the prophet to tell you that this price action here is not balanced. If I go to a higher time frame now, that place will be an imbalance. You see, imbalance is here, imbalance is here. You see that now. So price will likely come back here, which actually happened anyways. This is what happened. You see, even though price came to test the 50%, went up, created a new high, price still came back to fill all the imbalances here before now going up. High, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, came back to fill this imbalance. If V75 leaves an imbalance for you, be rest assured that it will come back to fill it. This is an imbalance. This is an imbalance. So it came back to test the imbalance, created a new high, then came back to test the main imbalance here also. And then what happened? We saw the bullish trend. Price did a kind of ranging mechanism here. But of course, you would have this would have been a good place for you to enter. High, low, high, low, high, came back, I believe, to take out these liquidities, dynamic liquidity, and then created a new high, low. This is 50%. I want to believe. Okay, price didn't touch the 50%, but of course another high was created, broke structure to the downside. Now you may be looking that okay, price will come back here by reason of this break of structure. That maybe price will come back here or price will come back here, but price blew you out of the zone. And if you are careful with the trend, with the major trend, you will know that this sell that you are looking for should not actually be what you should be looking for. Your setups must always align with the prevailing trend. You must follow the order flow of the markets. That's the best way to get your capital preserved. So high lows, high lows, high lows, high lows, high lows, high lows, and then what happened there? Let me see. Let's see what happened there. Um, this is a bullish engulfing. I don't know. I don't know if we've had a class on candlestick formations on structural points. Have we done anything like that?
No,
Like the
sir.
candlestick that forms on structural points.
No, sir.
Okay, there is a video on my YouTube channel. That should be my first market structure class. You guys should go and watch that video. It should be my first market structure class. I talked about candlestick formations at structural point. There are some structural points that will be hidden, that can be hidden. That it is a candlestick formation that happens there that will help you know that okay, this guy is actually a structural point. For example, this is a structural point because this is a bullish, bearish engulfing pattern. So this would have been a good structural point. This is a good structural point. This is a good structural point. Go and watch the video. You will understand what I'm saying. This is bullish, bearish engulfing. So if you go to a lower time frame, you will see that it will be a very, very clear structure. I mean a very, very clear structure. So high, low, high, broke structure, and then came back to test the block, and then price came down, high, low, high, low, high. See this week. So break of structure happened, came back to fill the imbalance, created a new high, came back to retest this Shina candle, and then high, low, high, low, high. And then price came back. I hope you know that all these ones, they are internal structures of the major macro move, because this is a swing, this is a swing on the lower higher time frame, this is a swing, this is a swing. Then I let me see, well, this didn't break, so you can see the breakout structure happened here. So this is the new string, then I I I I but inside all this structure you can still be catching, which is what we'll be looking at actually. You can still be catching the structural point inside the major structures. The most important thing is for you to know the order flow. Like for this swing now, the order flow is bearish. For this swing now, the order flow is bullish. For this swing, the order flow is bearish. For this swing, the order flow is bullish. So here now, it is foolishness now to start to be looking for buy here when when price is still within this range. You can only start looking for buy if price breaks out this zone. If price breaks out of this zone. So always take note of the order flow of the market. And of course, high, low, high, low, high came back to the zone, created a new high, low. What happened? Now I'll switch to H2. Price didn't come back to 50%, but I'm sure they will come back to this imbalance because coming is an imbalance here. There's an imbalance here too. And of course, this is a cube. So let's see. So they came into the imbalance. I believe this should be the cube. Let me see. Okay, this is the cube. They came down to the cube and then price ranged. I hope you guys understand what happened here. Do you guys understand what happened here?
No, sir. Okay.
Price created an imbalance when moving. But when this happened, this guy didn't come back to fill this imbalance. And I said earlier that any imbalance that V75 creates, it will definitely come back to fill it, which is what happened here. But now price didn't just come back to fill it. Price came to fill the cube, to tap the cube below that imbalance. So if you are having this bias now, and then all of a sudden you begin to notice cell structure, formation of cell structure, then um, you will be watchful to see how price reacts. For example, what happened to a high low? Price came back here. This is a gap. I said every gap must be filled. It's just like imbalance. Every gap, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. Price went up, but still came back to fill. This is the fill of the imbalance. This is the fill of the imbalance. And then this is the cube. This is the cube. If I go back now, you see that this is the cube. I had to mark it intentionally for us to see that V75 doesn't leave vacuum. It doesn't leave vacuum. It will definitely do what it wants to do. It doesn't leave vacuum at all. So price gave. I'm looking for where price range. I was talking about one move that we were just catching then. For those that have been attending the sessions, one move that we were just catching and catching. It happened here. Price range here, range here. Guy, we made a lot of money here, guys. We made a lot of money. Then when this thing happened, oh my god, it was a big havoc. I mean, a great havoc. So we enjoyed this range for almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for six good months. We're buying and selling and buying and selling and buying and selling and buying and selling. But when this thing happened, it didn't show us Pepe. It didn't show us Pepe. And then see something interesting here. If anything is not clear, just leave it. For example, this is a very, very clear move. This is a very, very clear move. For a while, when this thing happened, I didn't even come close to V75. When this thing happened, I didn't come close to V75. I think I started trading V75 when, I now saw all this amazing structure form. And then presently now we are seeing that there's a break of structure to the downside. Price came back here to test this breaker block, and then price is going back down. So majorly, I'm bearish on V75. I'm bearish on V75. And in the beginning, I give you guys my bias, entries, and all. So see this. I talked about volatility now. Look at what happened here now. Price was here when we started this analysis, and look at where price is now. But I'm sure and certain that this guy will sweep this dynamic liquidity, will definitely sweep this dynamic liquidity, and then come back to retest before the buy and before the general sell. So, based on what we've discussed so far, what can you say about V75? What can you say about V75?
According to your to what you said, sir, when you were trying to show us the charts, I could see that it respects F and TTM regions, any region, especially when they are around the structural, when where the structure is forming. So you can always take it, especially when it is around where the structure is broken. So and also whenever it creates an imbalance, it always come back for it.
Yeah.
And
Even
the,
if it breaks structure to the opposite side, even if price breaks structure to the opposite side, it will still come back to take that imbalance. So
test
if you want to be
imbalance.
trading with 75, you have to be a very, very conservative person and very, very patient person. I mean, you must be super patient for you to trade V75 profitably. You have to be a very, very patient person.
But sir, does it give
Okay.
room for accumulation and reaccumulation on lower time frame?
Yes, it does. That's what happened here. That's what happened on this M5. I was expecting a sell, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what happened here. This is what happened here. So now that there is a break of structure now, we are anticipating that this guy will come back to this line. If it comes back to this line, it has definitely taken out this dynamic liquidity and then goes up to the upside. Any other, please?
You also mentioned that it clears liquidity, grab liquidity again and again. So there are so many times it's weak out, just weak out to clear
Yes,
liquidity and still close within
and still
structure.
close within the structure. Yeah, it happens a lot of time. That's V75 for you. That's V75 for you. It happens a lot of times. You see a clear liquidity sweep, break of structure to where you price needs to go, and price will still come back to take out the liquidity that has taken out liquidity. And that thing will still close within the structure. So you will now see like 3 to 4 sharp pin needles, and price will now sell or buy down. So it's a very, very funny asset. You need to understand it so before you trade it. Any other? Any other? I think I won't be the one to take tomorrow's session. Let me see. Let me see. This 75. Caleb. Caleb is the one taking tomorrow's session. But so far, so good. I think this is the day. This is the what self. This is the. I think the 7 or so. So far, so good. Have you guys learned anything? Like, has it been a profitable
Day seven,
venture?
sir. Yes, sir.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
This is
I
the
said day
7.
7.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah, yeah. So far, so good. This is 7 days. It's a good time to do appraisal. Do you think it is helping you? Do you think it's actually profitable? Have you been gaining anything from the backtesting session so far?
Yes, sir.
So the backtesting has been super amazing. It has been wonderful.
Thank you. Okay, any other thing before we call it a day? Today is Saturday, tomorrow is Sunday. A lot of people want to prepare for church. Any other thing? Any other?
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Well done for this class. I think I've been on V75. Most of the things you said they are really correct. And I wish I got to know something before this class. It talks about being conservative and being patient. V75 can give money sharply and can even take it sharply.
Yes, so
Making out
no
of
time.
experience, actually. Not easy. Well
No
done for
time.
this class, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well done.
Any other before we call it a day? Any other? Okay. In the absence of no other thing, thank you very much, guys, for joining tonight's session. The session continues tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be doing V75 1X, and we'll take it up from there again. Happy weekend to you all, and wishing you all a blessed and a superb weekend. Yes.
And you too, sir.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you.
Very much, sir.
Thank
God
you, sir.
bless you.
God bless you.